Hey, what's up, guys? It's Untitled 47 here, back with another video. So, guys, I know I'm still wearing the same clothes as my last video. I'm probably gonna record all 3 or 4 of these videos all at once, just to, save time, not have to do them at different times. So, if y'all see me wearing the same clothes the next couple of videos, y'all know why. I'm still in the same. It's the same time as I was recording my previous video, but. Yeah, guys, so for this one, I want to do my updated Dragon Link deck profile post Burst of Destiny. I will spoil a little bit that I'm not running the Destroyer in the deck. I don't really feel like Dragon Link needs it. It's a very good card though, and I actually wish I could use it very effectively in Dragon Link, but the fact that Dragon Link uses Chaos Ruler just makes it a little bit weird to run the package basically, because you don't really want to mill your pieces for the Fusion Destiny for the Enforcer. So even though technically you could, like, even if you mill them off Chaos Ruler, you could just add them to your hand so you can still have Fusion Destiny live. That kind of limits, or that kind of puts a restraint. It puts a restraint on the deck in terms of being able to either extend more, or because there's just you don't really want to do that if you don't have to, because you could, if you need an extender, then you won't, if you mill one of those 2 pieces for the Destroyer, then you won't be able to um, summon the Destroyer anymore. You'll have to, like, if you need an extender, you'll have to get the extender. Or if you would rather have a hand trap, because a lot of hand traps are pretty good that are light and dark, Nibiru, Effect Veiler, Skullmeister, stuff like that. So if you want a hand trap for just, if you already have your boards kind of set up and you want more protection, then you can grab a hand trap. But if you mill one of the pieces, then you have to grab the piece if you want Destroyer to be part of your end board. So you don't want to be like too conflicted in that department. That's the only reason why I don't feel like Enforcer is a very good card in Dragon Link. If it wasn't for that, I feel like you would be able to use it, and you should use it. But just that whole conflict, I feel like doesn't. And plus, you have to play. I feel like, in some decks you don't. It doesn't matter, but Dragon Link has become more of a mid-range deck, not really full combo, because you. I feel like the board for Dragon Link is not very easy, but it's not one of those boards that's super hard to break. So you want, like, to have follow up, because you kind of have to expect that your board is gonna get broken most of the time. Yeah, so sure, sometimes your opponent will break and you just win, but a lot of times your board will be broken. So you want to have follow up set up, and you want to have hand traps to back up your board, because, like, most of the time you're gonna end on Seal, Savage, or if you have a decent hand, like a pretty good hand, Seal, Savage, Hot Red, which is, it's not a bad board. You might have a Tiding set, which is also really good. Or you might have like a Seal IP Savage or something like that, or Seal IP Hot Red. Ending on all 4 of those is very, very rare, but any combination of that stuff, you're not really, like I said, it's not an amazing board. It's a good board though, and having hand traps behind that is what kind of keeps the deck from getting its board broken. So a lot of times you will want to grab hand traps off the Chaos Ruler. So yeah, I think the Fusion Destiny is too many cards. It's 5 cards that you have to add in. So I don't really think Dragon Link needs it. And you have to normally cut, like, one of the things you have to cut down hand traps, which you don't really want to do, because, like I said, Dragon Link is not, the board it makes is not one of those, like something like Drytron that can negate like 5 things, like all 5 cards in your hand. But yeah, so that's why I feel like the Fusion Destiny or the Destroyer doesn't really synergize too well with Dragon Link, so I'm not really running it. But yeah, just without saying, or after saying all that, now I can quickly show you all my deck profile and how I've changed it for this format. Alright, guys, so let's get started with the profile. Sorry for the glare, guys. I'm in my parents' house, and I don't have, well, it's actually nighttime outside, so I have to have the lights on. It's going to cause a bit of a glare, but I'm going to try and put the cards in spots where it doesn't block them off too much. But yeah, starting with the main deck, we got 3 Seyfert uh, and the 2 baby dragons. I mean, this hasn't changed. I know some people like are putting in like 2 Seyfert, adding in some black metal dragons, but I just think Seyfert's the best card because it searches these, and these are just so strong. So having like these 3 with Chaos Space just makes it 6 ways to get to the baby dragons, which kind of almost guarantees it almost every game. Obviously not every game, but it gives you a really good chance. So this has not changed for me. I think 3 Seyfert is still good, and obviously the baby dragons are at 1. Going to the rocket package, we got, of course, triple Seyfert, double rocket synchron, 1 recharger, and 2 Apsarouter. So again, I think this is pretty standard. Nothing special here has changed either from my last deck profile. 3 Tracer, you want to have your highest chance of opening it, because if you don't have to go Romulus, you don't really want to, because even though Romulus is good and it gets you to Tracer, it is a pretty big choke point if you actually don't have Tracers. So that is your opponent will try to like stop that, or they'll if you go Romulus, that kind of tells your opponent, hey, I don't have Rocket Tracer. So, and Rocket Tracer is just too important for all the combos. 2 Apsarouter, because we do play a good amount of rockets, so not only can you dump it off like Ravine or whatever effect you need Chaos Space, but you can also special summon it from your hand, so it's a good extender. And then following that, we got 2 Nocto. I don't play 3 just because we already have 2 Apsarouter, and having 3 that's 5 level 7s that, even though they are very good, and Nocto is an amazing card to chain block and get advantage. You don't ever really want to risk drawing multiple, so I would rather, even though it lowers your chance of seeing it, I would rather have that smaller chance than having a higher chance of drawing 2. So, or you don't want to risk also not just drawing 2, you also don't want to have too many of like the level 7s in general in your hand. So yeah, I think 2 has worked out very well for me. Never had like drawn both of them at once, so pretty good. And we got kind of just the 1 of dragons. We got 1 Levy, 1 Brotar, 1 Red MD, and the 1 Chamber. Just put it up here. Yeah. So obviously Levy is very standard in Dragon Link. Red MD, in my opinion, is really standard. I know some builds don't use it, but people have been using it more now with the black metal. I don't really like black metal because it's not that it's a bad card. It's just I just feel like the space is really tight in the deck, and I can't find a way to fit it if I want a good amount of going second cards, which I do. So that's why I cut the black metal, and I decided to put Brotar in because I do feel like Brotar is a very good seal target along with Chamber. You want to have options, and it just helps you get to your Levy if you don't have it yet. So I think Brotar is the only thing is you don't really want to open it, but if it's staying in your deck, it's really a really good seal target. And the fact that it lets you search for basically, and it's not just Levy, but it lets you search for any card you need in your deck basically. So very good card. Yeah, and then Red MD can also be used like with Seal. If you get nibbed, it helps you keep playing even through nib. So that's why I think it's absolute must. Now going into the going second cards, we got 3 nib, 3 Veiler. I am maining actually 2 Lancia and 3 Forbidden Droplet. So the Veiler and the Nib and the Veilers, I just think they are not just the fact that they're good hand traps, but they're light monsters. So it goes really. I'm same with the Lancia. They're light monsters, so they all go good with the Chaos Ruler. You can grab them off the Chaos Ruler. Really good synergy there. And having all the light targets is just really good also for like Levy and Chaos Ruler to bring itself back from the graveyard. So really good stuff. So I think that all that has really good synergy with the deck. And the reason I feel like these are pretty standard in most Dragon Link nowadays. A lot of people are running Valor, and Nib Ash is a good card, but it's not a light or dark. And I just feel like Ash nowadays is just too low impact. I mean, so is Valor, but at least Valor you can use. A reason I'm running 3 Valor instead of. I was thinking about doing 3 Lantia and 2 Valor, but Valor is not once per turn. So if you draw multiple, you don't really care. So that's really nice about that card. Um, so yeah, I think I like the card a lot, and it synergizes with the deck, like I said. So Valor has worked out pretty well. And yeah, like I said, Ash Blossom is just not as impactful in my opinion in the current meta. And then now the reason I'm maining droplets, two Lancia, is because I feel like there's just too many decks right now that rely a lot on banishing. You have PK, which is PK and Tri Brigade. This card just auto stops them for the turn. So I do feel like Lancia is a very good hand trap right now to main. It hurts Dragon Link somewhat as well. It hurts Virtual World somewhat as well. Not as much as PK or Tri Brigade, but it has a decent impact against Dragon Link, Virtual World, and I think even a little bit on like the Sword Soul stuff, and I think even Flundereeze even banishes a bit too. Well, actually, I don't know if that actually hurts them, but anyways, the majority of the tier 1 decks right now, Lancia is a decent card against them, so that's why I'm playing 2. And then Droplet, of course, just really helps you break boards. That's something that Dragon Link, I feel like most decks right now, meta decks, are playing either Droplet or Dark Ruler, just because um, the so many decks can just play through hand traps nowadays, especially the low impact ones like Valor, Imperm, or Ash. So you need cards in your deck that can also basically, even if your opponent gets to make a board, which they most likely will if you're playing low impact hand traps, you need cards that will basically break that board. So Droplets is definitely one of those cards. Um, I am playing Droplet right now on top of Dark Ruler just because it's a quick play spell card. So, but Dark Ruler is definitely a good alternative if you're on a budget. So that's basically it for the going second cards. So what is that, 11? Which I think it's a decent number. It gives you a decent chance of opening some. I will explain a little bit about talents, when I get to it in the side deck. Actually, I guess I can say it now. Talents, I'm not maining it, even though I feel like a lot of people are, just because of the fact that talents is not that good going second. Going first is definitely better, and I just feel like while it is definitely a very good card, I would rather have a few more actual going second cards. So I just side the triple tactics talents for when I know I'm going first. So yeah, but I could definitely see the argument for wanting to have it in the main. But yeah, going into the spell cards now, we got, or the rest of the spell cards, 3 Chaos Space and 3 Quick Launch. Very obvious. Well, not once per turn, and then this card's just too good to not run at 3, honestly. So very good stuff. Very standard. And last but not least, we got the 2 field spells and the 2 tiding. So obviously the field spells are one ofs, Ravine, and Boost Sector Launch. Very standard. And then tiding for the chamber. I think 1 and 2 is good right now. You don't really need more than that because you don't really want to open up chamber either. So chamber's a better target with seal. Same with Brotar. So 2 cards, it's not terrible if you open them because there's still Dark Dragon monsters that you can still use, but they're just better in the deck for seal. But yeah, guys, that's it for the main. 40 cards, of course. Going into the extra deck, 1 Striker Dragon and 1 Pisty for the Link 1s. Very standard. Obviously, there's that 1. And then we got, for the Link 2s, we got 2 Seal, 1 Romulus, 1 Quad Boral, and 1 IP. So I feel like these are also pretty standard nowadays in Dragon Link. 2 Seal just helps you with the grind game. Romulus, of course, for the Ravine if you need to get to Tracer. Quad World is just good going first or second. First for combo. Second, you can. It still helps you combo if you pop your opponent's Link monsters. And then IP is just good. She's just good because if you're locked into darks, you can just use 2 dark monsters or 2 whatever monsters to make her, just for more interruption on your opponent's turn. For the Link 3, it's just the 1 unicorn for the IP. Now for the Link 4s, we got 1 Appaloosa, 1 Boral Sword, and 1 Axis Code Talker. I think that's pretty standard right now as well in Dragon Link. Appaloosa, you don't get to make her as much, but every once in a while she does pop up, and I think during versus Drytron, Appaloosa is very good. Boral Sword for OTK, Axis Code for OTKs as well, so really good cards to have right now. Now, I am playing, this is one of my own little spice picks that I'm playing right now. I am playing the Underworld Goddess. I think the card is actually very good. I haven't gotten to test her that much yet, but in theory at least, it sounds very good. Because even obviously on your opponent's turn, if you end on IP, then it's very possible that you could maybe go into her. After that, you can seal, get a monster on board. You have IP, and if you have like a third monster like Hot Red or Savage, after you use their negates, whatever, then you can follow up with more interruption if you don't want to go into Unicorn or something. Or if it's a monster that like Unicorn can't get rid of, maybe like Dragoon, then if your opponent doesn't get like around the IP, or maybe they'll think that you're not even gonna, if they let the IP effect go through or something, then you can just use their monster and they can't respond to that once you've allowed the IP effect to resolve. So yeah, so I think it's a very good card to use. And then on your turn, actually, all you gotta do is make sure you're not locked into darks, and then you can just go into the Goddess and just take your opponent's monster for free. So I just think a lot of people would not expect it, and she's not the best card, but she's still a decent card to have. She's pretty hard to out, and she has a interruption as well. So I'm playing her over like Needle Fiber. I know Needle Fiber is definitely something that some people run in this deck, or along with Triple Burst. I just haven't had Triple Burst really come up, so I don't feel I see the need for it. And Needle Fiber, I'm not saying it's never come up, but Needle Fiber very rarely comes up. I feel like the Goddess would come up more. So, I mean, it'll just be a testing thing. I'm going to test this out. If it doesn't work out, then I'll probably put Needle Fiber back in, just as another option to keep extending, maybe if you want to go into Axis. Because, I mean, Needle Fiber is obviously pretty good for going into Axis Go Talker. But for now, I really want to test out the Goddess. I think she could be really good in the deck. And then, of course, for the Synchros, very standard Chaos Ruler, Savage, and Hot Red. Like I said, very standard in all the Dragon builds right now. I don't think I need to say much about that. I'm going into the side deck. I am siding 3 Droll and Lockbird. And the 3rd Lancia. If I know I'm going to go second and I'm facing Virtual World, or sorry, not Virtual World. Well, I mean, even Virtual World, but if I'm facing for sure like PK and Tri Brigade, I would definitely side in the 3rd Lancia just to maximize my chances of seeing it. Droll, of course, is obviously good into Drytron, Dragon Link, mostly for those 2 decks, honestly. But yeah, that's it for these high impact hand traps. And then, I mean, another one I guess too is I am putting in Gamma. I don't think Gamma is as good in Dragon Link or most decks right now. It's not the best hand trap, even though it is a high impact one. But I feel like going second, if I know I'm going to go second, I would really want to side Gamma in just because it's high impact, and it'll help you break boards if you like, maybe especially because you have a good amount of cards in your deck that you won't have any monsters. So if your opponent tries to negate it, then you can gamma like Chaos Space, or if you use Safer to tribute itself, then you can gamma that. Things like that. So you have a good amount of cards in your deck that can go good with gamma, but like I said, I do think it's just not the best hand trap right now to actually put it in the main. But I think if I know for sure that I'm gonna go second, I would definitely side this card in. Next we got a few spell cards. So I have the 2 talents. I don't really see the need for 3, honestly, because it's a good card, of course. It's an amazing card, but I don't ever want to draw multiples of it. So that's why I would not put 3 into my deck, because it's a once per turn. So yeah, I would just play 2 talents. Helps break boards, or not break boards, sorry. Helps play through interruption. So definitely just side it for when I'm going first. Now going for the back row hate, we got 3 Twin Twister, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, and the 1 Red Reboot. So 5 cards for back row. I think that's a good amount of cards. You don't really want too many, but you definitely want more than 3 though. Like I don't think 3 is enough. I'm still not sure about the Twin Twister at 3 though, because it's a good card, of course. And I was playing Cosmos before, but I just feel like getting rid of 1 card nowadays is not that great. I think most people set multiple cards now. The ones to duplicate back row. So I would definitely think that you need at least to be able to pop 2 cards. I don't like the discarding, but I don't really know what else to run. I don't have Lightning Storms, and Lightning Storm can't be chained. Can't be chained to Imperial Order or to Anti-Spell Fragrance. So I just feel like Twin Twister is the best option right now. And then obviously Harpies is a good block card against a lot of decks. And then Red Reboot, also really good against back row trap decks. So, and this card's really good with decks like an OTK, which obviously Dragon Link can. So yeah, so that is it, guys, for the side deck. Now that's it for the whole deck profile. So I hope you guys enjoyed the Dragon Link deck profile updated. So definitely probably my favorite deck right now, or it's probably been my favorite deck for a while now. Just I like how the deck is not very linear. Makes you really think, and it's definitely a pilot-oriented deck. Like it's not just very set combos. You have to be open-minded and be open to seeing a lot of different ways to go around certain interruptions, or certain cards in your hand will lead to certain kind of pathways to certain combos. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you did, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.